and welcome to the Sweaty the Farmer and the game design where we put hardcore oregano in our gaming pizza. Yes, delicious. This is episode number 40, the Steel Colander problem. I am the lone name gamer as the Sweaty.
And I am Lucho the Farmer. Thanks for joining us in this episode. This week we enable hard mode and try harder than ever before.
Yes, let's go! Let's bleed those fingers! But before all that, our little disclaimer as usual. The discussion here is based on our opinions and our own in-game experience. Everything that we say and check out is based in our unique view about the game industry, which is the interesting part of this podcast, right? And our docket, hopefully we have, again, because last podcast we just took one theme and run with it. So it happens sometimes, guys. It happens sometimes. Don't worry about it. We have the Warframe steel pad array full of blood holes. Is it even a problem? The group finder in WoW and Shadowlands living experience is broken. So, let's talk about that Warframe steel pad. What happened with it? Did everything went bad? Did it bring the rewards that people expected?
I mean, we didn't know what people were expecting. The rewards are only... Oh, sorry. The rewards are only cosmetic.
Yes.
So the mission themselves, like, they drop the same amount of resources that normal missions.
Yes. All right. Yeah. Cool.
So that is cool.
So your prediction was right.
Yeah.
All right.
They don't want to change the loot caves to...
Yes. You don't want to change the farms and everything else. And...
No, and from the principle, they said that it was just designed as a way to give players who wanted a place where enemies start at a higher level.
Yes.
That's all they wanted to do with this. And once you complete a mission, like a mission on a steel path,
yeah,
you have a chance to get a currency. I forget the name of the currency.
All right.
And is that currency that you use to talk to Teshin and buy the
cosmetics rewards?
The cosmetics. Right now, cosmetics are a limited number. There is a set of operator armor.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
That makes you look like a dark soldier, which is
nice.
Super freaking cool.
Yeah, that sounds super cool. Yeah.
And there are like the usual ship decorations. I think there is an emblem,
the sprites, and that
or a
stuff.
sigil. Yeah. That kind of thing. So there are not that many. They're not. Okay. The currency thing. It is not a guaranteed drop at the end of the mission. You could or could not get it.
So it's a random drop. It's not guaranteed.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah,
but it is just cosmetics. Who cares?
People in Warframe care about their cosmetics, remember.
Even if they do care, it is just a cosmetic. Like, it's not... Even if it takes you a long time to get it, what's the matter? It's not like it's going anywhere.
Fair enough.
They just introduce it on Warframe, or they don't remove content like soon. Even if something doesn't work, they will still leave it in the game for years. So
that is true.
So it's not like even if it takes you forever to get it,
it's
not going anywhere. The whole point is that should they add more things to the reward to a vendor?
Yeah,
they probably should.
Yes, I think
So that's what this person is complaining about. That is not rewarding enough.
Oh my god, the steel pad. All right, there were some things that I expected from the steel pack because technically it's just a gameplay overhaul in Warframe. First, did they try what was the lore behind it? Did it try to put some lore on it?
No.
No, right? All right. So one, they should have tried to tie it a little bit to the lore. I think that will
I
make
don't
it
think
like
so. How would you explain that in lore? That there are two instances of the same node
I don't know. Anyway, shape or form.
has
Parallel
enemies of different
realities.
levels. No,
Distortion in time. I don't know.
no. That puts more. That opens lore windows that they don't want to open. So no.
All right. But the other thing is, like we said back, that this system will be successful if their words were good. And we give like they have a lot of options of how to reward the player, right? And I don't know if I like it that the fact that it's a currency that you buy. I will like more that some nodes had a pool of cosmetic. I guess that the currency is fine, but I don't know. I feel like it doesn't feel like, I don't feel that you feel that rewarded doing a thing when the final reward is just a currency to start with. From the like from inviting your players to do this activity that is quite hard. It's technically designed to be hard as a baseline. Right?
Sure. But that was not the idea of the game mode.
What?
Like
that
it was
hard?
like hard mode was never supposed to be rewarding.
Hard mode was never supposed to be rewarding, really?
No, it is just there for the players who want harder enemies.
So what do you think is the downfall of this? Do you think like they just like
I
put
think
more
it's
rewards?
perfectly fine.
You think it's perfectly fine?
should they put more rewards on the ender?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes.
Will they? Eventually, slowly.
All right.
There is no rush. Like, what is the rush?
Making people being rewarded correctly for the hard work, I guess.
They don't have to do it.
So
there is no power behind that.
I know that there is no power, but
you don't have to do hard mode.
I know that you don't have to do hard mode, but
okay, so
but you want to feel, when you go and do it, you want to feel properly rewarded.
If you are going to it's the whole purpose is just to have high level enemies. If you're going there, is because that is the reward for you. You're gonna go and test your broken builds in the hardest enemies possible without having to wait half an hour in a mission.
Okay. So
that's the sole purpose of hard mode.
So you feel like,
because that was the biggest complaint, that if you want to fight level 100 enemies, you have to wait an hour in a survival.
Correct. Yes.
And hard mode is addressing that specific complaint. So now you can fight level 100 plus enemies in any mission that you want, in any node that you want, instantly.
And you feel like you shouldn't be like rewarding for doing that hard content, or like have like good rewards.
But the point that they didn't put any like if they would have made it like a necessary part of the game, yes, it should be rewarding. But it is completely optional.
Yes, but that's not my point. My point is, should you or not be rewarded to do a very hard thing in the game? The reward doesn't have to be power. The reward can be cosmetics.
The reward is doing the hard thing. That's the whole point.
So you think that is enough with the reward, or just doing the thing? That at the end of the run,
that was the whole purpose.
I know that was the point. That was the point of the mode. That was what players wanted. But that doesn't mean that that will satisfy.
That's what they wanted, and they're not satisfied when they get
Correct.
what they wanted.
That's what they wanted. They're not because again, people
that's not this problem.
People doesn't know what they want, and like that includes that's part of what in my perspective, that's what part of what a designer has to figure out. Like clearly,
and they gave rewards. There are cosmetic rewards.
Yes.
You have to spend a lot of time playing the game mode to get them.
So you feel that this person is wrong, and they're good rewards for what the player is doing.
It's just that they could be good or not for one person or not. Like, did you care about operators? Did you care about how your operator looks?
Yes.
So if you do, yes, the rewards are good. If you don't, and there are a lot of people in the community who don't care about operators, then
yes.
Don't.
So you think this person is just playing wrong, like that? You think the rewards are fine, the mod is fine, it's rewarding enough?
I think the mod is perfectly fine.
All right.
Like even people were saying that they wanted this even without any rewards because they just wanted to fight harder enemies.
And now they're complaining that they're not being rewarded. Oh my god! So is this another case of like people are going to complain?
I feel like this is another case of people that know what they want.
Okay.
Because also this person is saying the post is he doesn't understand what the scaling rewards are, and it was clear that this was never going to be that.
Yeah, that was the whole point as we were discussing
that was the
last
whole
time.
Point. No, but not only us, but that, like Dee said, like that's the whole point. Like adding this steel path thing addresses one request from the community and one request only.
I know, but it's like I kind of understand where the problem is. It is a psychological expectation that if you're doing something hard, you will get equally rewarded for doing your hard thing, right?
But why?
Because it's a psychological expectation. If you're doing something that's really hard, your reward should be great. It's normal in humans to expect that, like psychologically speaking.
The reward should be saying, "Oh, I did it!" Like,
yeah. I know.
Yes,
yes.
I finished something challenging.
But how? Like the things like psychologically is that, and that is a personal expectation. Like, and I'll give you an example. I'm doing this this crazy grind in World of Warcraft with an essence, and I know that at the end I will feel satisfied of doing it because of the reward.
You won't. The effect of the essence is not that significant.
But I did.
It is not.
I know. But me, psychologically speaking, I will feel satisfied doing that because I will get the thing that I'm chasing right now. You know what I mean?
But that's that. Okay, that's different.
But because if
that is completely different.
I know.
You're chasing something that you want.
Yes, exactly.
And that's all. It doesn't matter if the thing that you want is super powerful or not.
Yes, exactly.
In this case, it is the best thing that you can get. But I'm telling you, like in a moment-to-moment gameplay, it's
not gonna matter. I know. But the thing is that my goal is clear and my reward is clear. And I'm going to feel satisfied once I reach it, right? Because that's the psychological effect, right?
Yeah.
Either if it's good or bad, it doesn't matter, right? So I think
exactly.
The problem here is that maybe they're not priming the players for that, right? Because there is a way in terms of game design that you can prime players for that kind of rewards. Right, and in terms of essence, they do it because they're rank 3. They do the best effects and they sell you the effect of it, right?
No,
so
they kind of No, that's bullshit. You're only farming that essence because you know that is the best in slot.
I know, because I'm priming myself.
But that is not like that didn't came from the design of the game.
Correct, but I'm priming myself.
That's completely
I
different.
know, but there is a way. What I'm saying is there is a way to do it. All right. The example was wrong, but what I'm saying is that there is a way to do it. There is a way to prime players for that kind of rewards in terms of game design, right? Whether you do it or not is up to you. It's up to what philosophy of game design do you have or not, right? And I give you another hypothetical example. We are chasing an exotic in Destiny 2. This is a hypothetical example.
It's a bad example. Don't go there.
Christ.
You know that it is an example because I wanted just because I want to collect the thing. Does it matter that it's good? No.
All right. Let me put
another. Use it ever again? Probably not.
Let me put another example then.
Do I like shotguns in the game? No.
I know. Let me put another example then. Hypothetical. You are trying to find. All right. You're trying to open an essence in WoW, and the first tier of the essence does a cool A effect when you summon a bunch of mini pets, right? Sure. So that is telling you like, oh, this is super cool. What is? And once in a while, it kind of like goes critical, and it summons an extra pet, right?
Okay.
And the next rank is like it will guarantee you that extra pet that goes critical. And it will show you when when you obtain that next rank, the next thing when it goes critical, and then the next rank will credit. That is priming you to chase the next thing by showcasing a little bit of more power, or by showcasing what is next into the line of chasing, right?
Fair. That is an example of
yes,
that.
Yes. That's what I mean by priming in design, right? By priming your chase, by priming what is interesting. That's why when you're chasing cosmetics, sometimes they preview it to you, right? Because that's priming to chase that exotic.
You can go to a vendor and you can preview a cosmetic.
There you go.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just feel that there was a portion of the community who had their expectations set in the wrong place.
That is absolutely possible, right? That is absolutely possible. But the question that I'm gonna ponder here is, it is a missed opportunity not to take advantage of this kind of stuff.
For what?
What would you? To just serve the baseline need, like. I don't know. If I was designing the steel pad, I would first try to tie it to lore in some way of funky thing, and I will probably be more lenient with the cosmetic rewards. Like I'll probably just to launch it, I'll probably a lot more cosmetic rewards in all the and as we were speculating in all the like I will put an exclusive palette for it. I will put more parts of Warframe. I'll put like helmets.
No, you cannot put Warframe parts in it.
No, sorry, not Warframe Prime, but Warframe cosmetics. The things.
Sure, but you know that all of those take time to develop.
Yes, I know. But I mean, like, is it a missed opportunity by not making more of your play base engaging with the mode?
But at the point, this mode is not for everyone.
Yes.
This game mode is just for the like top hardcore player.
Yes. But I'm not against showcasing stuff. Like, I'm not against.
There is an argument to be made that this like if it is not designed for the vast majority of your player base, it shouldn't be showcased, because then you come across these silly complaints about, oh, but the rewards are not scaling, and the answer is yes. It was
No. I'm not addressing the reward in terms of like reward like
no, but
materials and that sort of stuff. I mean like the whole point of beyond the challenge, the other point of the steel pad was like they were gonna give you cosmetic rewards.
It would no. Like the cosmetic rewards are the cherry on top of the cake.
All right. So you mean like the cosmetic rewards were the cherry? So
yeah, like that was never the motivation.
Would it be like
it is let me put it this way.
Yeah.
If they had like a pool of rewards that, oh, we don't know where to put the rewards, and then they made this game mode and say, oh, this game mode is going to be the primary thing to obtain these rewards.
Yeah.
Then I agree with you.
All right.
But that's a different intention, because you have a set of things that you want to give the player. And the driving force is I have these things that I want the players to pursue.
Yes. All right.
But that's not the intention. The intention, is I'm just gonna make this harder because people want to fight harder things.
Correct. Yes.
Like I'm gonna sprinkle some cosmetics on top because we can.
Fair enough. But wouldn't make it better to have more cosmetic rewards in the mode?
And they will come, but that's the point. It takes time. Like to make new cosmetics, it takes time.
So then the answer to all this is like we should tell the player to just be patient and wait. There will be more rewards with time.
Not only that, but also like they won't scale the rewards. They want to scale the materials. They want to scale
absolutely
the drop chances.
And if people complain about that, I 100% agree with you. That no, the answer is simply no. No, that's silly, right? I 100% agree with you. My only gripe is like it would be better to have more cosmetic rewards in front of it. Yes, that maybe it's not possible for DA, or maybe they will do it with time. Okay, but will it make the mode better if you will come like front loaded with more rewards? Yes, right?
Maybe not. It depends. I mean, it could be better. I just don't see like really a reason to do it, because you're balancing out how much time are you burning in your team to put rewards into a game mode that probably most people are not going to care about.
Okay.
Because it is, again, since the rewards are not scaling, it's not going to become a farming spot.
Clearly not.
Basically, you have to re-clear the whole solar system to get to the good nodes.
Correct, yeah.
So, is it worth burning, I don't know, 60 hours of work on a 3D artist, like sculpting a new helmet for a frame, to put in this game mode that probably most of the players are not going to play, instead of telling this guy, oh, okay, you should be working on the next new Warframe.
All right, yeah, fair enough.
Or on the next deluxe skin.
I can see your point.
It is. You have to balance out that it's still a small team.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, maybe it could be a thing of like allocating resources and that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Allocating resources, like with the knowledge that most people are not gonna get into this game mode, really.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because it's unnecessarily hard for no reason.
All right.
It is hard for the sake of being hard. Like
Okay.
It is like those all adventure games that have had a hard mode.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
wouldn't
yeah.
get anything else from clearing on the hard mode. Just the bragging rights of you saying, "Oh, I beat it on hard mode."
Yeah, and you get like an achievement or something like that.
Some games didn't even have achievements. So just, "Oh, I did it."
Nah, yeah, fair. The save. All right, yeah.
It's for that player that has that mentality.
All right, so maybe yeah, I agree with you. I will I will never dislike more variety in rewards, but
I will never, but
absolutely clear that that was not the intention of the mode at all.
I will never disagree with more cosmetic rewards. I
Yeah,
think they will come with time. Yes.
eventually. Fair enough.
Yeah. Also, I guess also for most of us, older players have come used to the fact that things in Warframe come at a slow pace.
Yeah.
In the big scheme of things.
Fair enough, fair enough. And like people forget that you can like not touch hard mode and still be successful in Warframe. Successful, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. That's the other side of the coin,
Absolutely.
right? You can never touch this mode and still play Warframe fine.
And have fun with the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if you have never asked yourself, "Oh, I want to fight harder enemies," then this game mode is not for you.
Correct. Yeah.
Or if you're not a theory crafter who says, "Oh, is this broken build gonna work at high low?" Then then you don't have to go to a simulacrum
and waste
do
a bunch
things.
Yeah.
Or waste a bunch of time in a survival. You can just go and choose your favorite
mission. Yeah, and
mission of whatever type you feel like running at the time.
Yeah.
There was something also really interesting that I think was in an interview Scott said.
Yeah.
And it was that when you look at the theory crafting content for Warframe,
yeah,
a lot of the times you see like the footage on on YouTube videos is just like people trying things in the simulacrum and saying, "Oh, this build works because it kills enemies in level 200 in the simulacrum." And basically, Scott's criticism, in a sense, to some of the content creators was like that type of content is not showcasing the real potential and beauty of Warframe.
Oh yeah. Fair enough. Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of. I think that he said, "Oh, it makes us sad that this is how a game is portrayed, because that's not what the game is."
Yeah, I could understand that. But yeah, that's true.
So it is for that kind of thing that, oh, maybe if you want to try your broken new Mesa build, you can
you
just
don't
go
need to showcase
mission.
it in a simulacrum, which is like super sterile and
to be fair, it is not representative of how beautiful the game is. For
correct,
example.
absolutely correct. Yeah, absolutely correct.
How insanely good looking the game is.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Fair. I just like that's all I'm thinking is that is the mentality that they had probably in their minds when they were piecing this together. And also, just for the record, they put this together in like a month or two.
Yeah.
Which is super fast.
Super fast for D8 times. Yeah, that is true.
For anyone's time, because we didn't know how the whole instance system in the game works.
Yeah.
So it was fast.
Nah. Anyways, I think the conclusion for this topic is Steel Path is fine for what it was designed for, and it's giving the players what they asked for. That it doesn't come front loaded with the rewards. Like a lot of rewards, people wanted it. Yes, it's true, but that was never the point. The rewards are just an extra a little nice extra, right?
In my opinion, and they will come. They will put more rules.
And for sure they will put more stuff on it. Like
they always do put more stuff in there. If things are successful, they will keep adding things.
Correct. So
be patient. It may take a couple of years, but it may come.
Yeah. All right, for the next topic. Is the group fighter in World of Warcraft a problem? So what do you think about the pugs and the hell that they represent?
I have talked about this before. But
we have talked about this, yes.
You've been doing more pugging since the last time we talked about it.
Correct, yes.
So how's been your experience pugging?
For raids, I think it's fine. I always dislike. It's not a dislike. It's just like I want to do everything now in games and maximize my time. But that's the kind of player that I am. I'm like a min-maxer kind of player. So
most people like not wasting time.
Correct. So for raids, I think it's been fine in terms of me finding a group for doing the activity. Of course, because of how people work and populations work, there are times where they're more barren or they're more difficult to find what you're looking for. But for the most part, if you connect it at prime hours, like between 5-4 in the afternoon and 8-9, you will find groups to do whatever you need to do. Right?
Sure.
That's one thing. Second, the tool, I don't find any difficult for it. Yes, it could have more filters, but if you are like, what are you targeting in WoW? You either need a group to do a boss, or to go and do a dungeon, or to go and do a raid, and you just like type it out and refresh it, right? You just type it out and like, I need to do Nihilotomitic. All right, I put Nihilotomitic. If there's a group, I try to apply. If there's no group, I go check up in half an hour. If I don't want to wait that much and maybe I have time to go a dungeon, I go and type the name of the dungeon and the name of the dungeon, and it will show me all the options. Sometimes they're like a bunch and you're like, you have to scroll a lot. But I think the only thing that it needs is a little bit more filters. But beyond that,
I know.
Beyond that, it's like, it's fine. It's a fine tool. It's more than a lot of other games have.
What I would say is that my real problem with this person's suggestion, or like all these filters and things and checkboxes and is for this kind of functionality.
Yeah.
Usually the easiest answer is keep it simple, stupid.
Correct. Yeah, kiss.
Kiss.
Yeah.
Just because just like when you start adding like checkboxes and filters and lists and things like that, that's just gonna confuse people.
Correct. And it becomes worse. And like people are gonna apply wrongly more often, and it's gonna take more time to find and launch proper groups.
And also this is lazy. Like it just like how the system works in principle is that you have a leader who creates it's basically a listing.
Yeah.
In a post.
Yeah.
And people apply, and it is on the leader to filter out the people that he needs or don't.
And that's it.
And that's it. But that's all that really is to this. There is no.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be more complex than it is, right? The only thing that I will add is like, and this will only apply for Mythic Plus. It will be like, I want to find this range of things. So, for example, from 1 to 10, show me all the listings, or 10 plus, show me all the listings. You know what I mean? Because
I know what you mean.
Because that's the only difference between the groups.
But I think that's like if you go to a dungeon section and you type in the title a number,
it will filter, but it will give me the range.
not the range, but it will filter out like that and above.
What? So it will filter out.
If you type 10, for example,
Yes, it will show you
it will
what?
show you all the listings for 10 plus.
Oh, all right. So you don't need it. That was my only suggestion. It's already in the game.
I'm not sure that's how it works, but because that's what I do. So, for example, I go and I type 15. It will show me listings for teens and above only.
Oh, okay.
Even though, like, if I delete that, I know for a fact that there are listings for 12s and 13s and 11s.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So I think it already does something smarter on those lines.
What? So I think, like, I insist. I think the tool is perfectly fine.
I think
I think it's more than a lot of other games have.
But more than that, I think it is the simplest design that this kind of tool needs.
Yeah.
Because less than what we have, it is basically just a recruitment chat.
Yeah.
And that is annoying to filter through, which is the Warframe problem, for example.
All right. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
There is only a recruitment chat, and you have to read through lines of text scrolling.
Yeah, it's horrible.
At light speed.
Yeah.
So that is a bad solution.
Yeah.
The next easiest thing is just a listing of things. Like,
yeah.
Everyone makes its own post for what they want. And we have enough filters now. Like, we have a PvP versus PvE. And like, even if you go to a PvE section, you have
there's like
dungeons, raids, custom, questing.
Exactly. Yeah. There's like a lot of specifics. I don't think I never thought that the tool.
And it is on the people who made the person to put it in the right place, which I think is fair. Why should the game waste resources in like sorting these things through? Just give the control to a player, and like I see nothing wrong with that.
Like, our problems with Group Finder is not the problem with the tool, is the problem with the groups.
The problem with the Group Finder are the people, not
not the actual tool.
I think it's perfectly fine.
Yeah. And if you want to filter people, well, that's something different.
You know that like for the dungeons, like it will show, like it will order them by default. For example, if you apply as a DPS, it will order them. It will put first the one that has more spots for DPS.
I didn't notice that. Does that for your spec, depending on the spec that you're playing?
Yeah. So, for example, if you are playing as a DPS and all the DPS spots are full, it will put them at the end of the list.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Man, the tool is already doing a lot for you, and I haven't even noticed.
It's doing a lot for you. I know, I agree.
I didn't notice that, but yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
For example, if you're a tank and the group already has a healer and all the PSs, it's going to put those listings first.
Nice. So what is the complaint of these dude?
I don't know, that this person wants to have filters for things.
Because
that you cannot search as much as you want.
Eye level, which
but eye level already, when the person creates the listing,
you can put the listing. You can put
a minimum item level requirement.
Maybe the dude is not like looking at the tool, right? Or I don't know.
I think the tool already does a lot of stuff that is not telling you.
I get the distinct feeling that his problem is, again, with the people of the groups. He wants to filter people.
Sure, but that's, dude.
No. That's the thing. That is the thing about groups. Like, how do you filter people? Yeah, I get these feelings that he wants to filter people to
Yeah,
make
but that's,
better
I mean,
groups, basically. He wants
sure,
the
but that,
tool to help him do that.
I mean, yeah, but that's not on the tool. Like, that's not a problem of the tool itself. That is just the nature of what plugin is involved.
Yeah. And like there is a bunch of things he wants to filter by war mod and that sort of stuff, but people usually tend to put that on the title for rares and that sort of stuff.
If they are doing it for rares or for something, for some world related content, they
They put
usually
it
do
on one more on or one more off. They put it on the title, right?
If it is relevant.
Yeah, they usually put it on the title if it's relevant.
If it is because it is not relevant for a lot of things, but if it is, for example, for the big rares on the world, like the big bosses, the world bosses that you have to kill in a raid group. Even if it doesn't matter if your world mode on or off, it will put everyone in the same shard.
Yeah, you know what the feeling that I get? Yeah, I know. You know what the feeling that I get? That he wants an advanced group finder mode. You know, like
I know, and I agree with that. I still don't see the purpose of that.
No, I me neither. But I feel like that's what he wants. He wants like a button that says advanced, and they show him like 500 like filter options for no reason in particular. But hey.
Yeah, but that's one of those things that I feel like, fair enough, Blizzard is a big team, but they shouldn't be wasting time on this.
So
there are more relevant
things to do
in the game.
Right. Like trying to make a better community so the bugs are not that miserable.
I don't think that is possible. I was talking with Seal about this, like the whole bug culture.
Yeah.
And I think, or we thought it was like just the fact that we have the internet now and like access to information makes it more toxic. And in the sense that like you have things like the MDI, for example.
Yeah.
And you see all these pro players doing these strategies, and that quote unquote dictates the meta game.
Yes.
And then you have all these wannabes that think that the only way to play the game is how pros play.
Of course, it happens in all games, and like yeah.
But that is not a problem, nor of the game
itself.
Like that is a problem of the kind of information that we have access now.
Correct. Yeah.
And it is unless you grow up and you figure out like first of all, our mechanical skill is so far away from that of the pros that is really not going to make that much of a difference.
Correct. Yeah.
And like, dude, it's a game that we can play whatever we want, however we want.
Yeah.
So no, the point was that's the kind of thing that breeds all the toxicity in the plugin environment. That is people wanting or thinking that the only viable way to play the game is by replicating these pro strategies.
Yeah.
That are never gonna like for example, like the funniest one. Do you remember when on the MDI, like the triple hunter composition was a thing?
Yeah. The insanity thing. Yeah, I saw that.
And it's like, dude, like that's really never gonna work in plugin.
Nope. Because you need a lot of like actual coordination that doesn't exist in PUC, and the system is not. That's not the point.
That is not the point.
Yeah, that is definitely not the point. But I think one thing that I saw around is like the question if tanks had too much responsibility in the box,
Uh,
in the Mythic Plus runs.
they do, and that seems to be. They do have a lot of responsibility, and like it's more front-loaded responsibility because you as a DPS, as long as you're staying like not taking unnecessary damage and doing your DPS, no one is gonna talk about you, and that's good. Like you're doing your silent work. It doesn't matter. And if you and some like you can make a couple of mistakes and be forgiven for that. Like you can step in a puddle for a second and you just move out and heal a little bit, and that's fine. But if a tank makes a mistake, a lot of the times those are more costly because like a tanking mistake is you put an extra mob, or you didn't kite the packs the right way,
pull something where it's supposed to be pulled or whatever.
And those mistakes are usually more costly, especially because these are time
dungeons.
Time things, activities.
Correct.
So, is there more responsibility in the tank? Absolutely.
I have a question for you about this. Will it be useful for before starting the dungeon, especially in Mythic Plus, that you will give a public route to the other players?
It could help. The problem is that really the route doesn't matter. Like, the only one who really cares about that is the tank, because the tank is the head of the spear.
I know. But there is a bunch of instances where people get lost or try to run to the wrong place and pull stuff, or like doesn't wait enough for the tank to put the mobs where they're supposed to be on it, depending on whatever the thing is. I think
it could, but in my experience, in a given dungeon, at the level that we're doing dungeons, there are multiple strategies that can work.
Fair enough. Okay, yeah.
So that's when I'm kind of skeptical, because that could breed more of that mentality of, I am the healer, and we're not doing my route, we're not doing anyone else's route, and fuck the tank. And or fuck the route with which the tank feels more comfortable, which is a lot of the times more important.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
If the tank has a root on his head that is a little bit different than the meta, or a lot different, but he feels more comfortable doing that.
Yeah,
I think that is more important.
But my question is, will it help that like when you start the mythic before the countdown, you get like I don't know, 30 seconds, something like that, where kind of the tank will draw the route that they're gonna take to the dungeon. Like even if it's not the best route, or if it's good route or whatever, and it will showcase what mobs. I don't know. I feel like it could help for like to coordinate a little bit more those bugs.
I know where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But I also believe that when you're pugging things, especially as a PS and a healer, you just follow the tank. And like should be you putting more things for the tank to do beforehand? I don't think so.
I don't know.
And if we all agree that we are just gonna follow the tank and be careful not standing on shit, for the most part the runs go well. If the tank knows what he's doing.
Yeah, the problem is when the tank does not what they're doing.
Yeah, but even let's say that you are the DPS and you have tanked before, you're an expert, you know all the routes.
Yeah.
And you tell the tank, or the route that we're gonna take is take this, pull these mobs, do this thing. He is gonna make mistakes if he hasn't done it before.
That is true. All right.
Yeah. The problem is that tanking is something that requires a lot of practice.
Yes. Well, will it be worth it to somehow, in some shape, way, or form, make the tank role easier or easier to do?
It would. I don't know how exactly.
So you don't know how to make the tank role easier.
I don't know how. I think it's worth exploring. Maybe modifying the affixes in Mythic Plus, so some of them are not that heavily dependent on the tank.
Like you could take like the example of raids for some of the affixes or some of the things that happen in the raid to affect certain roles and not others. Like to have a specific mechanics for the roles.
It could be, but that sounds more like that is a thing that you could do on the boss encounters, which it already happened. The problem is that the problem is that there is a huge difference in, like, in a raid, the trash doesn't matter.
What about this? For example, if we have the affix of right now sanguine, right, which are the pools, right?
Yeah.
What if the damage of the pools don't affect the tanks?
Sure, but that doesn't mean that he still needs to know how to kite. And for example, in the tight corridor dungeons, he needs to know where to kite without pulling the things that he doesn't want to pull.
Correct. But that will make his work a little bit more easier because he won't take that much damage. Because inevitable as a tank, if you're closer to the mob and the mob dies, you will take sanguine damage. And this is like the example, right?
Not really. If you are, the thing is with sanguine, you have to plan ahead. It is an affix designed to plan ahead.
I know, but I'm kind of like trying to make the tank life easier in some shape or way or form because they already have a lot of responsibility on their shoulders. That's the thing.
Yeah, it could. The problem is that since it is just 5-man content,
yeah,
just by the fact that tanks are more important in general, like for the whole game.
Yeah.
When the content includes less people, it means that the tanks have more responsibility.
Would you like to put another tank in the pack, like 2 tanks, 2 APS?
No, five members is fine.
No. I mean, keep it at 5 members. Put an extra tank instead of a DPS slot, and design the dungeons around that.
I don't think so. I like the current composition.
All right. But will that make the tank job easier? Having an extra
because
tank?
if you put 2 tanks, you're gonna assign mechanics for 2 tanks. It's just that the difference in rates is that you have a lot of DPS. I know. Yeah, and you throw mechanics at them.
Yes, I know.
Because they have nothing else to.
Yeah, I know. But that's what I'm saying. Like the dungeons are different to the raid.
They are absolutely they're a different thing.
Yeah. So
and in that sense, like tanking in raids, it's a little bit easier. They usually have less things to deal with. Like usually it also require like some swapping thing and positioning.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
And like the bulk of the mechanics usually fall into the rest of the raid.
Yeah.
While Mythic Blast is an environment where the tanks and the healers have a little bit more influence.
So what will happen if we leave Mythic Plus as it is now, and we just put 2 tanks on it, and one should be an off tank. So he can take damage, but his big thing is dealing more damage that he takes, and the other is the proper tank. Will that make the tank job easier?
I mean, but what you're describing, like it or not, is the meta tank right now.
Yes, a tank that does a lot of damage. I know. But will put 2 tanks inside of Mythic Plus environment help make the
No,
tank
because
work easier?
you'll probably assign the affixes for 2 tanks.
If you didn't design the affix, like as it is now,
It could help.
the only thing that you will do is like lower the health requirements for the dungeon, so you compensate for just having 2 DPS.
I think it's a bad idea.
Why?
Because now the 2 tank, like the tank is the leading role.
Yeah.
Now you have 2 people leading. That can be problematic.
Man, what to do then, Lucho?
I just think tanking is something that takes a lot of experience. It's fine. I don't see a problem with that. Should a completely new player throw themselves at tanking? Like out of the blue? Maybe not.
Yeah.
Like if you have tank before, yeah, sure, go for it.
The thing is like tanking in other games is so much simpler than in World of Warcraft.
Yes.
Like
sure.
The only thing that you have to do tanking in other games is just like you just take the aggro and that's it. Yeah, in Mythic Plus you have to decide a route now, what to pull, how to pull, etc.
That's why we're talking about how to make pug tanking easier.
Yeah, yes, correct, yeah.
But also have to keep in mind that Mythic Plus was not designed for pugging. It is a pre-made group activity.
Yeah. Should we
if it were designed for pugging, you will have a group finder thing that you just click your role and you apply. And you get a random group out of nowhere. But Mythic Plus was designed for coordinated teams. And while you're running them in a coordinated team that has kind of like a guy who is tanking and know what he's doing,
he will know what to do.
For example, in that case, you tell everyone, okay, this is in advance. 20 minutes in advance.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the route that we're gonna take.
Then correct.
Everyone knows.
Yeah, correct.
And everyone can follow it. But we then that coordinated group is all in the same place.
So it's just a bad side effect of pugging life.
Yes, of course it is a bad side of pugging.
Fair enough.
Pug tanking is hard. It is way harder than it should be.
Yeah. And I think the feeling is like we shouldn't try to fix it because that's not the point.
I mean, you could try to alleviate some of the effect.
Yeah.
But it's but Mythic Plus was designed for coordinated groups, and the tank itself can make it live. Like for example, in affixes like Sanguine.
Yeah.
If you are in a dungeon that has a lot of casters.
Yeah.
Then you can think of how to use the tools of your other players around. Like, okay, you have a druid, then you should equip this talent so you can push them. Or you have a warrior that can fear them and make them run far away from the pools. Or you have a priest with this
Correct.
thing.
Yeah.
Or you can tell, don't use your stunts in this affix or things like that. And all of those little things are the things that make tanking easier. Because then your whole team is helping you with the affix.
Okay.
So, for example, if we are all in voice chat, and the tank says, "Oh, okay, now we need 2 LOS." It's not only the tank running away and the people asking, "Oh, what is he doing?"
Yeah.
He's telling, "Oh, we're LOSing this mob," so we all go and LOS the mob.
Yeah.
Or we need to move. Or, for example, in Necrotic, if the tank needs, he can tell, "Oh, can you take aggro for me for a second?" Or can someone slow them while I drop stacks?
Yeah.
So it can tell me, for example, I play a hunter, I need to drop stacks, throw your trap. So I throw the trap, the enemies get slow, and he has time to drop stacks. And those are the things that make tanking easier. The fact that the tank can...
Okay. Yeah, it's a coordination problem. Yeah.
Yeah, of course it is a coordination problem.
Yeah.
So what we're saying is tank pugging hard? It is absolutely hard because the tank has to deal with a lot of mechanics on itself.
Yes, correct.
What makes it easier? Having at your disposal a group of people who are willing to follow your to play around the tank.
Yes.
And the tool that the tank and the whole team has.
Correct.
That changes completely how affixes play.
Absolutely.
So, it's a hard question.
Oh my god. Anyways, the conclusion is that we don't think the group finder needs any help. Of this discussion.
No,
we took a tangent, but the group finder doesn't need any help, realistically speaking. All right, for the last topic of the day, Shadowlands leveling experience is broken. Is it?
Yeah.
Is it really? I don't think it's broken. It's like it needs more focus. So we both saw this amazing Talias and Inevitable video about talking about like how should leveling work, because how it is now in the beta is you level up through the intro zone, which is a new thing with Shadowlands, and it's like super on rails, super focus. You go and do a little bit a small story inside your character, and then you finish up with level 10, and then you go into an expansion to level up from then to 50, right? That is the design that is now, right? But the thing is, like, they throw you in any expansion, and then you do stuff randomly without any shape, way, or form, and you finish up at level 50, and that's it. So I think what the feeling is like, oh, yes, the first 10 levels are fantastic, but the rest is the same as it is now, which leveling in World of Warcraft right now is not the most enjoyable thing.
It's not exactly that it's the same. It's just that basically what the game suggests you right now is to go through the basic zones of an expansion. So, for example, in BFA, like if you were to level in BFA, like in Shadowlands, it's in BFA.
Yeah.
Like you will go through the 3 zones of your faction.
Yeah.
And at the end of those 3 zones, you'll be level 50. And the argument that they're making is that at that point you have not experienced BFA.
Correct. Yeah.
Which it's fair enough.
Yes.
At that point, because you haven't experienced Nadjator and Mechagon
and the storyline and what is happening,
and the storyline and the war campaign and blah blah.
Yeah.
And like a similar argument was made for Legion, for example. You go and you level up through 4 basic zones. That doesn't mean that you have experienced Legion. You haven't gone through the Broken Shore and Argus and
correct.
All these things. That is a valid criticism. And I can see why that can feel unsatisfying.
Yes.
my only problem with having all the experience on tracks, like on rail tracks, is that it takes away a little bit from the expansiveness of the whole world.
All right. So your argument is that it's kind of like it will remove, if you try to unrail it, it will remove the exploration part of it.
Will remove the exploration part and a lot of the and it's just that also takes away from the feeling of this world is huge.
So you will think you will. I don't know, man. I don't think like.
I think so. Think about it. Even for as bad as your learning experience was, you were left with the feeling that the world was huge.
Correct.
And that there were still, but there are still a lot of things to go out and do, even if you never go and do it. Like Like there are still hundreds of quests at your disposal that you can go and complete.
Yeah, but remember that Taliesin idea is not to remove that. It's just to.
It's not. I know that it's
Yeah.
not to remove it.
Is give the
but
option to make it like to.
It's
all right.
The problem is that it's not only giving the option to.
Yeah.
The way that he was describing it, it's definitely putting like the on rail option in the forefront of the game.
Yeah, we'll make the more efficient way to leveling up characters.
Again, but that means that it's bringing it to a forefront, and it's basically telling people this is the thing that you should be do. Go to a big shield with the exclamation mark.
Yeah.
That kind of hides all the little things on the side. It's not taking them away for sure.
Yeah.
But it's hiding them a little bit. And again, like, would this matter for? It is just complicated because does this matter for a new player? Like for a completely new player?
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yes, correct. All right. Yeah.
But is it valuable to still? And again, it's the same thing that I have advocated for before. Like that feeling of feeling lost in a game. It is valuable. Like it is endearing some level.
But there is an argument to be happening that you will have that experience once you get to current content, right?
Yes and no, not necessarily, because current content is, like it or not, pretty much in tracks again, because you're like your experience is not significant right now because you didn't arrive to current content until the later expansion, where there was a lot of baggage going on before that. But in Shadowlands, like we'll go to 8.0.
Yeah.
And we'll only have like the quest on the initial zones and whatever things like world content we have.
All right, yeah.
That's all. And even those are still kind of each zone will still probably have their own main quest.
Correct, yeah.
And all the side quests in all the zones.
Yeah.
So it's not that it's hard to get lost. Once, like if you are doing up to it content, it's hard to get lost.
So your worry is that you will not showcase enough like the awe and like expansionability or like the size of the actual game.
Yeah.
Because you're putting too much in Rails, and that the last expansion generally doesn't showcase the size of the game enough.
Oh no, the later expansion it won because it just showed you what the later expansion is, especially on the first patch of the expansion, like on the first on 9.0, it's gonna be just these are the initial signs for this expansion, and this is all the base content for this expansion.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna have all the world quests and the mission table and the covenants and the things and all of that. Which is what the game is. Like, to be fair, that's what the game is. But I don't know. It's just that having the experience before that too much on rail tracks, it feels like an amusement park. It doesn't feel like a real world. It feels like you're just going in a little train, like, oh, look at the tower, and then you move. Oh, look at that, and you move.
All right.
But that is not real. You know what I mean?
I feel that have you experienced like the things like we haven't had access to the beta, right? So we haven't experienced that leveling portion part that he's talking about, right? That first leveling, like revamp new leveling zone part. Will that change your mind? Maybe experiencing that and maybe that will feel better?
It could, but the results, like, it could, but again, like having the first 10 levels on Rails is not a bad thing, because those are like the completely initial exposure that you have to a game.
I don't
teaching
know,
you
like
the absolute basics of the game. Like how to move, how to attack, what are quests, what are NPCs, what are these markers.
Personally, and this is my opinion. Personally, I will absolutely love this idea. Why? Because I will always, when I've been playing World of Warcraft as now, I will have the desire to go and experience all content in a compact way. In like, all right, tell me what happened here. Like, tell me the main points and how this went, right? And when you are doing that and leveling up, you never get to that point to like see the whole scope. You're better off going and watching like cinematics compilation. And it's a shame that you cannot do that in game, right? And you can do that in another games. You can go and play like a main storyline of an old expansion, like for example in Destiny 2, and experience that storyteller.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
No, don't get me wrong. It's, as I said at the beginning.
Yeah.
I agree with that. With that, leveling right now leaves you with an empty feeling because you just do a couple of quests, you get invested, and then you just throw it away.
Yeah.
For sure, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that trying to improve that is a bad goal. All I'm saying is that when it is too much in just follow this marker, it will reduce the size of the world and it won't feel like a real world, you know?
Yeah, but there is already a bunch of other games that does that just show you the main path, and that doesn't mean that you will lose sight of what the rest of the world is.
Give me an example.
I will give you an example of, I don't know, I'll probably say Destiny 2, but Destiny 2 is much more limited in terms of exploration.
It is a way smaller game.
Yeah, it's a way smaller game, but I will give you Elder Scrolls Online example. Or Monster Hunter example is the other one.
Monster Hunter, what do you mean, Monster Hunter World?
Yeah.
But
yeah, Elder Scrolls Online is the other one because it clearly show you what is the main story, and you can go through the main story without going anywhere else. But just the fact that you're moving through the world, you go and explore and do stuff, right? But the main story is absolutely clear in Elder Scrolls Online, for example, and the same with Monster Hunter World. You know exactly what are the main missions, and you can go through them and see the main story that the game is telling you. But that doesn't stop you for going to side missions and going to see the other monsters, etc.
I agree with that, but Monster Hunter is definitely a smaller game in scope than World of Warcraft.
All right.
About Elder Scrolls, I don't know. I cannot tell. I haven't played it.
Yeah.
The only thing that I will say, or one of the things that I will say is, how do I put this in words?
You can do it.
No, it's just that. Okay, from a storytelling perspective.
Yeah.
How in a main like a completely linear main story makes the storytelling feel smaller.
Makes the storytelling smaller?
Yeah, because when you have like a lot of quests all going around at the same time, it feels like it's more of a real world, like more. You know, like everything is happening at the same time. Everything is going on. That makes a world or a storytelling device feel alive.
What do you mean? Like the fact that is a small story doesn't make feel the world as a real thing. Like makes it feel like more compact as a movie or something like that.
Yeah, it's the amusement park analogy
effect. You are worried about the amusement park effect, basically.
Yep.
That is just just like
and there is one one
What example?
example of when that is like when people don't want that, and there is classic.
Classic, all right. Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the whole point is classic on itself, like vanilla WoW,
Yeah.
didn't have like a story on itself.
Like
there was no main story of vanilla.
a super main question. It was just go
No.
about and explore. And how do you arrive to the race then? You just do? You just find it.
I mean, you will have like those were part of the quest that were there, but that there was no storyline that will take you from level 1 to the raid.
I see.
That's not a thing that exists.
Yeah.
Like
All
you
right.
just have stories happening all over the place, so you will have like there is a storyline, a story quest that takes you from someone kidnapped the king of Stormwind, and now we have to rescue it. And
yeah,
there is that storyline that takes you, for example, to Blackwing, I think.
Yeah.
So you had those things, but there was no like unified story of these. Like that's why there is no story of vanilla. Of classic.
Okay.
There is no story. There are a lot of things going on, and like one of the things that created, which again was just an illusion, but it created the illusion that the world was big.
Yeah.
Because you were not like funneled into this is the main thing. Because the vanilla experience was do your initial racial quest, and then it will throw you into a zone, and you can go and do whatever you want, and you will have these little hints of which enemies could you kill in which zone and those things.
Yeah.
But you had completely freedom. There was no story forcing you. There was no story like main storyline moving you through a specific place. And a lot of people miss from Modern WoW that feeling of complete freedom, and that's one of the reasons why a lot of people don't like Modern WoW, because Modern WoW, in a sense, is still very streamlined.
It's difficult because the question here is what will bring more. The question that this overhaul is answering is what will bring more new players to the game.
Yes and no. You also need to keep your old players.
Of course, but the leveling experience is not a necessity for all players. Like what it maintains all players is that if the new content is good.
But it is not only that. Like if your world doesn't feel big enough and interesting and live enough,
a
lot of people are gonna move away because it just feels fake, like too fake.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like
illusion is not good enough.
That's what I'm saying. Like in the necessity that the last expansion feel good for players, it needs to feel big and being able to explore and blah blah blah, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like you don't care if you do that kind of like amusement park effect while you're leveling up. If the endpoint is expansive and feel the world, it makes the world feel bigger.
Okay.
Yeah. If that endpoint makes the world feel bigger, it doesn't matter if you saw a bunch of stuff and like, because you get there and you realize, all that happened is like has so much many repercussions. There's a lot more things to explore and all that I saw as a showcase.
It could, but I don't know. It just feels like exactly what Talia's in told videos advocating for is it's a really true streamline experience.
All right, you feel
in my opinion.
All right, fair enough in your opinion. I think I like the idea. I don't mind. I don't mind as long as the endpoint is what it show you how expansive the world is. Maybe I'm putting too much on the Shadowlands expansion or whatever.
I like the goal of what everyone is trying to do.
Yeah.
I just think that if you lose the expansiveness of what a World of Warcraft is, it takes away a lot of the charm of the world.
I absolutely agree with that. One of the most charming things about World of Warcraft is that it's fucking huge.
And even if you don't go to explore it, it is always there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think that's one of the most charming. I get your concern. But I don't think that is that bad. I feel that it's not that bad if you do it correctly.
If it is too,
I feel like if the roller coaster, if the amusement park is doing correctly, it could pique your interest in seeing the rest of the expansive world.
it could, but I doubt it. It's just, you know what? It's like saying that being in a cruise is going to different countries. It's not really.
Okay.
Really not.
Do you know that actually like cruises, like the majority of the cruises stop in the city and they stay in the city for a couple days so you can experience them?
I know that
Okay.
no, like, but being in a city for 2 days is not experiencing that city.
Of course, yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like not leaving the port. It's basically what happened.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
That is not the real thing.
Yeah. So I think it's a thing of how you design this kind of idea. I think that's the whole thing.
Of course, it is how you design it. But my point is, being on a cruise again is kind of a fake experience.
Fair enough. All right. And with that, we finish our deep dive and we move to our audience questions and feedback. Don't forget that you want to contact us. You can write us down. You can put it on the comments section below if you're watching us on YouTube. You can send us emails to our social media, to our Twitters. You can pass by my stream and leave your feedback there. So the first question of this week is, what is the correct amount of grind in a game to avoid a player getting bored?
All the grind.
All of the grind is the correct amount of grind. So there is no wrong grind.
It's just that in my head, if you find the game interesting enough, and the goal excites you enough, you won't get bored of the grind.
Fair enough. I think it's not a thing about the correct amount, but I think it's a thing about if the activity that you're grinding is at least not gonna kill your brain.
Yeah, but that is a question of is the game engaging enough? Is the basic gameplay of the thing that you're doing engaging enough?
Yeah. I don't think there is a correct amount of grind. There's sometimes a correct amount of grind, but that's kind of the side of like how long you players should take to amount of X, and that is proportionally of like how exclusive whatever reward he's chasing is, or how difficult the reward to get should be, right? Those are kind of the metrics.
That's one way of doing it. I don't know. Again, if you enjoy the activities, there is no such thing as it's too much grind.
All right. And the second question of this week is a game that you only enjoyed with friends a bad game?
No, those are different things. You can enjoy a bad game with friends.
Yeah. I think that's the point of the question.
I mean, then the answer for me is yes, like a game can still be what you can
enjoy it with friends.
You can enjoy your time with friends. You can still despise the game.
Correct. That a game that you only enjoy with friends bad. I think it could be a bad game. Absolutely. I think the answer is yes. The answer to this question is just yes. It could be a bad game. It could be a fantastic game, and you can still enjoy it with friends.
Yes.
I think the fact that it could be a fantastic game, it makes enjoying it with friends a lot better. But what do I know?
But it's not a requirement.
Yeah, it's definitely not a requirement. All right, and that's it, my friend.
That's all for this week's episode. Once again, thanks for tuning into the Sweaty, the Farmer, and the Game Design. My name is Lucho, and you can find me on Twitter at LuisGPolanco.
And I am the Lone Name Gamer, and you can find me on Twitter at the Lone Name Gamer and on Twitch on twitch.tv/Lone Name Gamer TV. Oh my god, that took me to places where I stream Mondays to Fridays. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, and click the notification bell if you are watching us on YouTube, so you get notified when our podcast goes up, or you can click the follow stuff in a lot of like hearing devices, places where we post our podcast, Spreaker, Google, Spotify, all those places. And you can share, tell your friends, tell your mascots, tell whoever you are in quarantine right now that you're listening to a amazing show, and help us to keep this show alive and help us to do more of this content. So share and do everything social that help us, and we love you. Please don't go away. This was the Sweaty, the Farmer, and the Game Design. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye. And did you know oregano was initially used as a medical plant before it became popular as a spice? Aromatic oils and chemicals from oregano can relieve stomachache and prevent bloating. They also alleviate respiration difficulties. Oh my god. Oregano can be used against seasickness, in case you are in a boat. It also shows antimicrobial and antifungal properties, which means that it can be used against bacterial and fungal diseases. The therapeutic oregano can be consumed in the form of tea or an ointment. So you can have oregano tea. There's like some teas that have oregano stuff on it. I don't think they're that popular, but there's some teas that still have it. So it will cure you of everything.
It will.
Yeah.
And oregano means joy of the mountain in ancient Greek. Ancient Greek believes that the cows that graze in fields full of oregano had tastier meat.
I wonder if that's true. I wonder if you take a cow and you feed him oregano for forever, and then you make pizza out of that cow. Will that make the pizza better?
No, probably not, but...
Why not? Can you imagine, like, if you are what you eat, and then you have a cow that only eats oregano, then that means you taste like oregano already.
It could, but it just like... It needs to eat... It may be. Like, maybe, but we don't know.
So my idea is not completely crazy, that's what you're saying.
It could be completely crazy. We just don't know the chemistry of oregano.
You know that what is free of oregano?
We don't know the chemistry of oregano.
Oh, we don't know the chemistry of oregano. Yeah, we'll have to research.
We don't know